Winning a championship might add to your legacy, but is it enough to make you a legend? Because there's a big difference between being the best driver of your generation and being the best driver ever.
NASCAR fans, have you ever heard someone's name and thought, wait, who's that again? That's how people talked about Jimmie Johnson in the early 2000s. Crazy, right? Fast forward a couple of years, and he's the guy blowing past Jeff Gordon and rewriting the NASCAR history books and holding 7 NASCAR Cup Series titles alongside legends like Dale Earnhardt and Richard Petty. So here's the real question. How does someone go from being a total underdog to one of the greatest to ever do it? Can you imagine Jeff Gordon watching a rookie and thinking, this kid's got it? What did Jeff Gordon and Ricky Hendrick see in him when everyone else shrugged him off? And what is it about Jimmie that turned those boos from fans into fuel for dominance? What made Hendrick Motorsports roll the dice on a guy with just a handful of Xfinity starts? And how the heck did Jimmie silence the haters who thought he didn't belong? This isn't just about racing, it's about building greatness. This is the story of a guy who didn't just race, he changed the game. So buckle up as we're breaking it all down. The comebacks, the championships, and the legacy of a man who went from Jimmy Who to one of the most iconic names in NASCAR history. Now, we know what you're thinking, fans. Jimmie Johnson, 7-time NASCAR champ. 83 career cup wins, a living legend. How could anyone not know who he is? Rewind the clock to the year 2000, and the name Jimmie Johnson didn't carry nearly the same weight. Back then, he was just a kid trying to make a name for himself, running a handful of Xfinity races with a best finish of 7th. Not exactly Hall of Fame material yet, right? But oh, how things were about to change. That is until a life-changing test session at Darlington Raceway. And you know how Darlington rolls. She's the track too tough to tame. If you can survive there, you can survive anywhere. In the spring of 2000, Darlington Raceway, a track so tough they called it the Lady in Black and the track too tough to tame. This is where it all started to click for JJ. During an Xfinity test session, Johnson hit the track and turned heads, and by turned heads, we mean he flat out blew Jeff Gordon away. Yes, that Jeff Gordon, a 4-time Cup champion, NASCAR royalty, and at the time, Hendrick Motorsports' golden boy. And while most people were wondering, who's this rookie? Jeff Gordon and Ricky Hendrick were taking notes, big notes. Ricky Hendrick, yes, the late son of Rick Hendrick, was so blown away that he pitched this unknown kid to his dad. Jeff backed him up, and before you knew it, Rick Hendrick himself was on board. This was no small gamble, folks. Hendrick Motorsports was already a powerhouse team, but they saw potential in Jimmie that no one else did. It wasn't just the lap times that impressed them, it was how Jimmie handled the car, the track, and the pressure. A few days after that Darlington test, Johnson was back on the track, this time at Michigan. And what does he do? It wasn't just talk. Jimmie sealed the deal himself by passing Jeff Gordon during a race at Michigan. By September 22, 2000, Jimmie Johnson was officially a part of the Hendrick Motorsports family. That's the day Hendrick Motorsports dropped the bombshell. Jimmie Johnson was joining the squad, and let's be real, at the time, HMS was already the gold standard. With Jeff Gordon leading the charge, they had 4 championships under their belt. People were asking, why Jimmie? And for a while, even fans didn't get it. But by the end of Jimmie's rookie season in 2002, the question wasn't, why Jimmie? But how did we not see this coming? The guy snagged 3 wins and finished 5th in the standings. 5th. As a rookie, that's not just talent, that's brilliant level skill. Fast forward to Jimmie's first full-time season in the Cup Series, and the question on everyone's mind was, why did Hendrick pick this guy? Well, Jimmie didn't take long to answer that. 3 wins and a 5th place finish in the standings. Not bad for a rookie, huh? Then came 2006, the year everything changed. Jimmie bagged his first Cup Series championship and didn't stop there. Oh no, he went full beast mode with 5 straight championships from 2006 to 2010. Let that sink in. 5 straight titles. That's something we may never, ever see again, folks. It was domination, plain and simple. But it wasn't all smooth sailing though. A lot of fans weren't exactly thrilled about Jimmie. Some of Gordon's haters saw Jimmie as just his protege and turned their frustrations toward him. But instead of letting it get to him, Jimmie flipped the script. He used the hate as fuel, turning it into laser-focused determination. When all was said and done, Jimmie didn't just bring glory to himself. He brought it to HMS and Chevrolet. With 83 Cup wins to his name, he helped push Hendrick Motorsports to over 300 total wins. Think about that for a second. Without Jimmie's contributions, HMS doesn't become the juggernaut it is today. Now, let's be real. Not everyone was on the Jimmie Johnson bandwagon during those early years. Some fans didn't like him simply because he was Jeff Gordon's protege. And if you didn't like Gordon, you sure as heck weren't going to root for his guy. But instead of letting the hate get to him, Jimmie used it as fuel. Every boo, every jeer just pushed him to drive harder, faster, and smarter. And boy, did it work. Jimmie's success wasn't just about his raw talent. It was also about the team around him. Hendrick Motorsports took a chance on Johnson, and he paid them back in spades. When Jimmie joined, HMS had 4 championships. By the time he retired, that number had tripled to 12. Talk about leaving a legacy. But Jimmie's story doesn't end with his driving career. Enter Richard Petty, the original king of NASCAR. Petty's influence on Jimmie and his post-driving endeavors can't be overstated. Now, as part owner of Legacy Motor Club, Jimmie is working alongside Petty and Maury Gallagher to build a new chapter in NASCAR history. Legacy Motor Club isn't your average team. With 14 championships between its leaders, they've got the brainpower to make waves. Sure, the 2024 results haven't been stellar, but you've got to crawl before you can walk. And with Petty's wisdom and Jimmie's relentless drive, this team has the potential to be a game changer. Jimmie isn't just about today's races, he's got his eyes on the future. One of his big ideas for Legacy Motor Club is expanding beyond NASCAR. Picture this, a team that not only dominates stock car racing, but also dips its toes into other motorsports. IndyCar, Formula One, Extreme E? The possibilities are endless. As Jimmie puts it, the name Legacy Motor Club was chosen for a reason. It's not just about cars. It's about creating a community, a club where fans can connect and be part of something bigger. Whether it's high-end experiences or grassroots events, Jimmie sees an opportunity to grow the sport and bring in new fans. But let's not sugarcoat it. The road ahead for Legacy Motor Club is full of challenges. Their current drivers, Eric Jones and John Hunter Nemechek, have had a rough season with only 6 top 10 finishes and 10 DNFs. Jimmie's own part-time return hasn't exactly set the world on fire either. But if there's one thing we've learned from Jimmie Johnson, it's that he thrives under pressure. With veterans like Matt Kenseth and Trevor Bayne now involved in the team, there's a wealth of experience to draw from. And let's not forget the big-name sponsors like Mobil One and Advent Health. The pieces are there. It's just a matter of putting them together. As Jimmie himself said, we hope to lean into that more as the 25 season kicks off and beyond. So, while the team is still finding its footing, the foundation is solid. And if Jimmie's track record is anything to go by, it's only a matter of time before Legacy Motor Club starts making headlines for all the right reasons. So, there you have it, folks. The story of how Jimmie Johnson went from Jimmy Who to a 7-time champ, a Hendrick Motorsports legend, and now a team owner with big dreams. It's a story of talent, perseverance, and the vision of those who believed in him when no one else did. And if there's one thing we know about Jimmie, it's that he's not done yet. The road ahead may be uncertain, but if history has taught us anything, it's this: never count out Jimmie Johnson. What's your favorite Jimmie Johnson moment? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's get this discussion rolling. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe for more interesting stories and updates from everything NASCAR. Do share this video with your friends. Until next time, keep the conversation going on, lucky dog on track.